Yeah, shortly after I stopped the stream yesterday, I realized why this is the case. This is the 0, 0 point of the drawing itself. I Nishal. So the rectangle that I pass to the arrowhead is like this, and the top left is 0, 0, and then I draw it like that. Now the funny thing is that I think, or at the very least, I need to draw the arrowhead such that this is 0, 0. Because I want to rotate around this point. You rotate around 0, 0. Can begin, I don't know, can begin with fixing that. Because I'm pretty sure about that. I think this is drawn in shape, so probably draw shape. See, there's an arrow. It's always pointing to the positive X direction. And it's this triangle here, the 0, 0 is here. So I'm starting at 0, 1. 0, 1 is at the bottom here. And then we go to 1.5, and then we go to 0, 0. And then we close the path. So I should start at, I want this to be 0, 0, so I have to subtract 1.5 from everything. Now here the same. See that 1.5 with a square here. X is 1, that's on the other side, and then a half that's down there. And then we go to a half 0. That would be there. And then 0, a half, and then half 1. So I'm starting at the tip, but it's 1.5 again. Probably the same. I just have to, I mean, the offset is the same. I just have to subtract 1.5, 1 comma a half. Hey Thomas and Abimanu. I'm using Linux Arch. So minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus a half, minus a half, and minus a half. And this thing draws around half comma a half. So if then you go horizontally, this circle is a half, add a half, it's the center. And if you go horizontally, the tip is here. So we add a half to the x coordinate, which is then again at 1.5. So you have to subtract 1.5, this becomes 0, and this becomes minus 1.5. This code is now correct, because now the tip is at 0, 0. But I'm not sure what the effect is, to be honest. Well, it looks good, because now the tip is at the end. Looks fine to me. Hi, Snipe. Okay, now we have to do a rotation so that we draw this thing in a different coordinate system. So we have to just rotate it this angle before drawing the arrow, which is probably the same file, isn't it? So it's done is a tip, then I translate it and we scale it. It seems that I did the translation correct then, because this should bring the tip to 0, 0. And yeah, that's what it is. The tip is then plus width, so if you have the rectangle like this, that is the geometry. Then the tip is halfway at the end here, so the plus the full width and then the half the height down. That's then you are at this spot. So we have this same rectangle here, I think. So you have to offset is here, and now you go full width and a half the height down. Then the tip becomes 0, 0, which is what you want. But I still have to rotate it. Of course, the rotation must be done after translating. I don't think it matters if you do that before or after scaling. Let's just do it here. And then the angle is, of course, simply the angle of the direction. Which I have I don't think we have that. Do we have that? I'm inside shape. Yeah, I'll have to add an angle, I guess. Just for the arrows and maybe any other shapes that I add in the future that need to be rotated. always add an accessory. Not sure if I use it, but the why not thing. No, it's a drawer shape. I shouldn't be needing this. Let's not add it until I need it. No, it doesn't compile anymore because I added a new argument here to the constructor. Let's see what this constructor is all being called. No matching constructor. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what I pass here because it's not used for a point. And if it doesn't matter, then I don't want to pass it. Which means that I should add a default. But if we add a default, then we can't find back anymore where it's all used. But on the other hand, there's only one place where I really need it. Let's find it from the other side. So I'm going to add a default to the rotation here. Just add 0.0. No. 0.0 would be actually 0, you know. Instead of 0, I'm using braces. That also makes it 0. This kind of says use the default constructor of double, which is defined as 0. It is a built-in, doesn't have a default constructor. But I myself read this as don't care. So it does have a value, but it's a don't care. If I cared that it was 0, I would have used 0. Yeah. So, yeah, now it compiles again, of course, but then my rotation is still 0. So now I have to find where the shape is used for arrowhead. Well, that must be this one. And then this shape must have a rotation. And that rotation we can get from the direction. Yay. No, either plus or minus, you never know. So it's hopefully rotating the right way. Let's try it out. That looks weird, so it's probably not rotating the right way. Let's try minus sign on. Call me lazy. Oh. Also looking weird. Another possibility is that the direction that is being passed is nonsense. especially because they look very different. Very different. This one has the tip at the top, and this one has the tip hidden here on the right. Hey owl. Yeah, Arch is notoriously difficult to install, I agree. I had a very hard time doing it as well. So I'm supposed to look at this and then understand what is wrong with my code, right? I don't. Nope, no fucking clue. So we're going back to passing 0 here, let's say. I'm passing 0. Then it looks like it did before. So now the tip is at the end of the dotted line. Now I'm going to rotate it. Now we're going to rotate it a little bit. A little bit in radians. Let's see, that's 3, 1.5. 0.15. A positive small angle. Totally deformed. It's deformed. That's not good. Maybe I should do the rotation before the scale then. Either way, let's try that first, because I don't like to deform to begin with. I just want it to be rotated, of course. Now we have to be in God, where was I? Rotate before scaling, maybe that helps. I'm really stupid these days. I think that when I was younger I would not have been trying this. I would just understood what it was. And now I'm calling it lazy, but you can also say that I'm just stupid. That I don't understand which is correct. This is correct, apparently. No, and I still don't understand it. But clearly it is rotating clockwise, because it was a horizontal arrow like this, and now it's a little bit up. So the angle that we pass is a clockwise rotation. Strange. But whatever. And then I think I'm going back to trying. Now I have to go to the point. No, it was arrowhead, this one. Okay, I want to try this one again. At least the shape is good, remained correct now. Ish. But this one has been rotated. Insane. It's just not. This one is rotated a little bit, and this one rotated a lot. I don't think my. Yeah, I'm older than that owl. Looks like the direction that I pass is not correct. Otherwise, well, I mean, these just seem like random, random angles. Can't decide on a plus or minus with that. So where does that direction come from then? It's, pass to the constructor of arrowhead. Oh. Oh. Yeah, it's literally that. Random. I mutilated it. I just commented it out, so I'm passing the Y difference as an angle. Why did they do that again? In order to get it to compile, but of course that's nonsense. We want to do this. And the point was that my direction no longer has that constructor. I made that protected. So instead I should either calculate a theta myself and pass that, but then I have to calculate a cosine and a sine from that again. That's nonsense. I'll just have to call this one, I think. So, but that would give me a point of 2 and a from point. This being a direction. No, nonsense. Just a difference between the two. So you have to pass 2 points, and then it doesn't matter where they are as long as the direction is correct. And it just takes a difference. And here I'm literally taking the difference. So what I want to do is pass a point x1, comma y1, comma x2, comma y2. Or do I? Yeah, the tip must point in the direction of the tip. That's what I promised myself. And the tip is x1, y1 here, because this is the from point. So it must be the other way around. We go from that to the tip, then we point to the tip. And then this one, it must point to the tip is now X to Y2, so now we point the other way. Well, now it looks good, but mirrored in the y-axis. So either it's the plus or minus thing, which okay, let me really think, because I can't be that stupid. Yeah, so if I change that angle, it's gonna point this way. So it's gonna be here. So it must be rotated 180 degrees on top of the minus sign. Maybe I should pass the other direction. It's kind of weird though. If the thing was horizontal, the angle is just 0, so that would cause no rotation at all. And then the direction is pointing that way, which is also 0. I don't really get it. Back to just try. I'm sorry, I just have to try. It's horrible, I know. Where's my direction? Oh, that was the other one. Wait. I need arrowhead. Connector. Arrowhead. Yeah, let's just try the plus sign. I think it's pointing still 180 degrees wrong now, but... Yep. And the annoying part is that can't just rotate it now. I mean, I can just now rotate it to pi and then it's okay. But why? Can't just rotate it like that, because I have to understand it. So everything that failed before, namely understanding, now still has to be done. So I'm going to go to the line equation. No. Oh, so many files. Why? Many windows as well. Let's try debugging it. Just run through it with the debugger and then keeping track of what's what. To be understandable. Although I think the angles are a bit too large. I would rather have tiny angles so I can more easily keep track of what is what. the 4. Let's put P1 at put P1 at 1, 0.25. No, it's not how it works. I just have theta and delta theta. It's P0, that is 1, 0. Only 5 is just a scale. Scale relative to the directions. But it's still code. It's still not small enough. Okay. Line 96. Step. Begin with printing everything. P0 is minus 1.2, 0. That's P0, yep. And D0 is My Zyphel. I'm not getting these values. Maybe someone can explain that to him, how to do that. I explained it before on with an example where to click and stuff. If you hover over the video, you see a wheel. What is it? Thing with 6 tooth. And if you click on that, it tells you quality. If you click on that, it gives you the option 1080.HD. That's what you have to click on. What the hell is this? Okay, looks like an arrow from this point to that point. Yeah, okay. I'm getting it. It's just still negative. Okay. I think it's actually correct. Structure connector. Okay, step. I'm going to add this. Switch from that point to that point. We have to reinvent the direction from the points, even though I had a direction a second ago, I think, but okay. We just added the direction to the point. Therefore, step in add connector. So now you get X1 and Y1 is point P0 and X2 comma y2 is the recognizable point that we want to end the direction vector at, the connector. And these values are going to be converted to pixels here, which I guess is okay. It gets a plot geometry and then converts X and returns it. And I get again the plots, again calculate it. And then I have a call to type S, a back in add connector. Ridiculous, did not get in the constructor of connector. What? But we should be able to print it anyway. This is my shared object. If I call get, then I get my element type pointer. Well, let's hope that's correct. Looks like a line. What? Pretty much undefined. I think I already created an arrowhead as well. Why the hell did it skip over the constructor of my connector? Here. Stupid. And I want to print the connector, and even that is unclear. Let's do this again. Okay. So this is P0 in pixels, and then the go to the endpoint of the direction vector is this, where that is considerably larger than this X value, because it's a lot to the right, and the Y value is just a little bit larger, smaller, I mean, because it's a bit higher. And it just constructs a line So let's stop at inside, break 27. Next, and then next, and then we are creating the arrowhead. Add x2, y2. Creating a direction from x1 y1 to x2 y2. Look, I would say that is correct. Let's go to the constructor of arrowheads. I think the direction is then visible and soon enough to check it. Let's type in the namespace. I think I'm inside drawer, right? Well, it's not necessary. I'm going to draw arrowhead, arrowhead. What did we do? Arrowhead, yeah. Breakpoint, continue. So now I can print the direction, and that is -1. That's not correct. That is not correct. Kushant Gaming, hello. Yeah, too difficult to explain what I'm making. So, well, I'm trying to draw arrows here, arrows with an arrow head here, and that doesn't work at the moment. And the direction of this first arrow says it is in the negative direction, x direction. So the y value is correct, but this is negative. That's not correct. Why the hell is this -1? That makes no sense whatsoever. I went from x1 to x2. It should calculate x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1. That's positive. And now I still have to go back here and see what the bloody direction is doing with these 2 points. That it gets a negative x. And the y value, oh boy, the y value should actually be negative. This is just the opposite direction. And that's why it points the wrong direction. Why is it the opposite direction, man? Oh, wait a minute. The y values are inverted because this is converted. The pixels are 0 is here for the pixels, and then it gets larger there. So y is inverted. And x is in this case correct. But yeah, at the very least I have to use -y. No, that's not nice. See, calculating a direction from pixel coordinates is bad. Not to mention that they are pixel coordinates. It's just ridiculous. No, cannot do that. Should not do that. Or should I? Why am I working with the direction here in pixels? Can anyone explain that? Kind of needed though. Now I think about it. Yeah. So I just need the opposite direction here. Then we get a negative y is good and a positive x. But I would think that it's what it should already be doing. Try this again. Now I have to stop at calculation of the direction here. Run, yes. Continue. Breakpoint 2. Continue. Next. Next. Break. Direction. Continue. Oh, it is to from. Direction has to first instead of from first. What the hell? Who thought of that? Why? Oh, it is because from is has a default value of 0 if you don't give it. That's the reason. Okay, now we found the problem. So that was here, 32. So now you see that it would not have been good to add m pi to the angle, because the actual problem is that you have to give the to first and then the from. This is the correct solution. Now they are good. Let's go back to a not that small angle again. Yep. Okay, let's scale those arrowheads down again, or shall I first try out a few times? So I can still see what happens. Let me try. Where are the scales? The scales of the arrowheads. I have no idea. Probably in draw. Most likely place would be draw/arrowhead.cxx. Yes, yes. Unbelievable, I found it in one go. Oh, looks nice, doesn't it? Yeah, okay, well, I guess it just works, but made a change, but probably should have tested indeed first the different shapes. So we can still see where the tip is and stuff. Parallel lines, let's do one of the others. What about open arrow? No, I'm added anyway. Let's add open arrow on the other side as well. See if that also works. Nope, does not look like an open arrow. But I do point in the right direction at least. It's even worse. We get here, and then why do we even get here? I don't think we should get here at all. Yep, open arrows. Field arrow, already tried that, but change the code, so let's try it again. No, not good. And then we get, let's say, diamond. Diamond? What the hell? Diamond error. Diamond error. Let's say that's pretty weird that those are the only two hits here. Yeah, that's what I mean. Circled. No, okay, let's put the size down. And finally, we have our arrows, yes. That took 2 days, but hey. Let's add the labels, which is which. Okay, labels, yeah, yep. Labels are like that. And why don't I change it here at all? Point level style, centered left off, and then I'm not using it. It's already centered left off. Yeah, no, the midpoint of my connector. I don't know. I could add a member function midpoint, but I guess it's more logical to do this and then say 0.5 or something times d. So I'll halfway this point. And this is also the one man. But this does not work because I don't have vectors. Ugh. I think I should add a vector class because I just need it. So the D0 here is a direction, and then I must be able to multiply a direction with a double, and then it's not a direction anymore because that has a length of 1 and this has a length of a half. Therefore we need a new class. So we have direction here. Let's copy direction to a new class called vector. Definitely don't have vector yet. Vector.h, and then edit it. I really don't like this inverse here, the 2 first. So I refuse to do that for the vector. So here we just have from 2. And then this is correct, except that we don't want to do that. Okay, if you only pass 1, then we just use the origin. This means that there's nothing to subtract here. Automatically convert a point to a vector. I don't know. Should I make that explicit or should I want that to be happening? I think I'm going to make it explicit for now. If you pass a point to a function that takes a vector, then I don't know. Seems that you need a little bit more say in it, or control about it. Construct a vector from a line piece pointing from the first point to the second point. Now why not, And this is implemented in terms of the other, meaning this one, which is from first. Construct a direction from a line. Yeah, we can't do that because now we need a length. So from a line piece is possible, but you cannot construct it from a line. That's no longer possible. Accessors. Then the dot product with D2. Okay. I might want to have an automatic conversion from a direction to a vector. Could just use a vector here. Yeah, definitely. Or I can add a 2 dot products here. Also one that takes a direction. But an automatic conversion from a direction to a vector sounds reasonable. I could establish that by setting the length here to default to 1. And if you try to pass a direction to something that takes a vector, it will use this constructor, because I didn't add explicit. Yeah, direction is something that you want to talk about angles, but I don't really want to talk about that. But yeah, I can imagine that I have a vector and I want to convert a vector to a direction. But since I store directions as XY coordinates as well, angles are a bit, yeah, let's not use angles when we can avoid it. So that was again then going from a vector to a direction. Maybe I should add S direction. That makes sense. Or not S direction, but just get the direction. Which then would return X, comma Y as a direction, because, well, direction takes, oh wait a minute, that thing was protected now. Yep. I do want it to do this, so really I would have to use points. Where the default is the origin. I could just pass. I think it should just pass a point then instead. Single point. It should work. Yeah, I think we have a vector. Don't need a line. the C math also no longer needed because I don't have a square root here. This thing has a length though, so maybe I should return that. Where to add it? Double length. Oops, the square root is needed again. Okay, now we have a vector, I think. So, what did I need that for? Oh yeah, now I want my direction to be... I want to be able to multiply the direction with a double. And I can't add it here because vector is heavily using direction. So we can't include vector, so we don't know what vector is, and I don't think I can return an undefined. I could return actually vector reference, but no, that's nonsense. So instead, we have to add it to vector. And then as a free function, oh horror. So it's a header, just make it static. I'm so lazy. What's it gonna return? A vector. Operator multiply and then double, let's say call it length direction. Could make it a friend, it's even more friendlier. It's also, a friend is also a free function, so basically no difference except that now it has access to whatever we wouldn't have access to in terms of the vector, but we don't need that. We just need access to direction. So we'd say, why the hell is this vector a friend? Well, because I didn't want to add a static. Okay. No bullshit. You can just return it directly. So that was on length. Let's not call it length. Length times direction dot x, comma, length times direction dot y. Yeah. Construct a vector of that. That is allowed. That would be this. No, it's not allowed. Why would it not be allowed? It totally should be allowed because, yeah. It's just a vector, so you can construct whatever I want. Const expression not required here. Construct a vector from x, y coordinates, whatever. And what is a semicolon doing there? No wonder all my viewers left. So Now we can construct this vector like this. Okay, I do not want to convert a vector to a direction, because then I have to divide by the length, which means calculating the square root. But the other way around is okay. Direction to vector. So why is this thing not just taking a vector? And then I need automatic conversion from direction to vector. And then if you try to multiply a direction, a double with a direction, then I should use this anyway. So yeah, it seems I really need it, and I can again not add it in the class of the direction itself, which would have been nice. I think I cannot. Maybe I could, but well, let's just do this, you know. It's kind of weird to use a default of 1 here, because I don't know, it's weird, but let me do it anyway. So also used for automatic conversion from a direction to a vector. Which then also means that here I can do I could construct a vector here from d1 comma a half, but it's kind of pointless. Let me try this. I've got to include the vector. Okay. I think it's not hyper about doing an automatic conversion in this case. This kind of makes sense, I guess. So yeah, in that case we'll just have to support the direction here anyway. Or is it? It kind of annoys me, this. Don't understand why. Well, it wouldn't work, but okay. Oh, because it still doesn't work. What? No. Then we use the trick of, I mean, it doesn't find this function, which is a free function because it's a friend, and it defines multiplication of a double with a direction, and it complains that it can't do that. Well, for a start, I should have used const reference. I can hardly believe that that makes a difference, but okay. The three functions should end up in, actually I'm not sure. Thinking cairo window namespace. Yeah, not global namespaces. Nah. Anyway, this still doesn't compile. Now I made it a const expression. Nope. So now we're going to say, oh, you can't find it. Well, I'm going to tell you what it is. And this is definitely a double. And this, oh, it's already a direction. Damn it. How the hell can I not find this? D0 is a const direction. Can convert to a const reference, no problem. Well, okay, so this doesn't compile and this doesn't compile. The rest compiles. And I'm going to ask it the question, what if I want to have a vector calculated from an operator multiply of a double and a direction. Can even go all the way and tell it that it is a direction const reference, and this is a double. Well, I'm not going to cast a 0.5. It's like so totally a double that it's just not worthy of static casting or whatever casting. And then this is probably in Cairo window. So we're going to go ahead and assume that that is the case. Now let's see what it says about that. It says there is no member operator star in namespace Cairo window. Well, that's interesting, to say the least. What the hell? So since it is defined, there is at least one operator star here. I'm starting to wonder, do we even get here? Let's make it a warning. Warning, we get here and there is no operator star in namespace. Okay, so then maybe it did end up in global namespace because I wasn't very sure about that. And now we're going to explicitly ask for that, which still should work because that's the namespace that I'm in. But there's no member operator star in global namespace. What namespace am I in now? It's using, okay, it's doing a using cairo window. That's why I have my vector. I should have my vector. It's not complaining about the vector. Anyway. Let's make sure of that. So we have a cairo window vector. Okay, so it definitely is included. I can even use the direction comma double constructor of the vector. That one. So maybe I was mistaken and the friend does not create what I want. So I'm going to remove it again. And put it in namespace cairo window. Now it's definitely in this namespace. And then let's call it inline. Okay. What the hell? So the friend didn't work. I think the problem with the friend is that you kind of already has to exist. So maybe I should, I could define it outside it in the correct namespace. For declare the operator and then call, then make it a friend inside the class. And if you just say this thing that doesn't exist is a friend, then it's going to create it, but in weird places apparently. I don't know where to create it. Maybe as a function in, I don't know. No idea. No idea. Let's not use the friend then. So now this compiles. Of course, this is going to compile as well now. And there is no need to pass the cairo window. This still works. And I guess that this also works now. Why wouldn't it? Nope. Invalid operands of binary expression, point and vector. Oh, that's just the adding. So this now works. Now we still have to be able to add a vector to a point. Or the other way around. Well, it's kind of the same problem. Namely, can only define it here. So more inline stuff. It's also a vector, of course. Operator plus. Yeah, what about the automatic conversion, right? I mean, I added this because it couldn't find it. But if I don't add it, it should still automatically convert a direction to a vector. A while conversion from vector to const cairo window point. I'm going to create text text a point. A point plus a vector is not a vector, idiot. It's a point. Okay. Go back here. That's a point. And it compiles. So yeah, this can be done. The automatic conversion happens. Why am I doing this in this window of the time top, I mean? Boing, D0 and D1 have been added. Now, let's say I want to put the D0 on the other side, because it's like right over the vector of D1. It's not very nice. So I want to put D0 on the other side, yeah? So, well, how do we do that? We are using here point label style. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna do this. I just want to change the position. And I don't like the current syntax that is needed. I just want to pass that to the style that I have to just change that part. So what I want is that D1 must be on the other side. I'm afraid I'll have to use that, because it must be some kind of function. And then that, because we use the designated stuff. Designated assignment, which means dot memory name equals. So the left off, left is also right. Also strange actually. Do centered below in this case. And then that one probably should read centered above. So I want this to work, and this is using an existing style. And then I want to change just whatever I pass here. Well, in this case it's text style, but I also have point style and line style, and I'm getting completely crazy about this style business. But yeah, and I still want it to work. So I'm going to make a text style member function. Stroke text style would be this one. And I'm going to call, avoid, this seems a bit nonsensical. Let's return the text style itself. Changed. So it must be by value. I'm not going to change it in line. And we're having an operator parenthesis. And that is being passed a textile delta. Let's call it textile delta, because that's what it is. Absolutely horrible. And then I have to implement it. So we have a textile result, which is created from the current object, and that's returned. And then here in the middle you can update it with the delta. And the textile delta also has defaults, but it doesn't have defaults like the textile. So I think I can just do no template. So we have a struct textile delta, and that must have the same things as the normal one. But the defaults must be magic numbers that mean that it is not initialized, and that must be recognizable. Now let's see, text position is an enum, so I can give that an extra value, I guess. So put it in the front, undefined. The delta then we say is undefined. Not even sure that works. It seems to already exist, but where? As a function, okay. Font size, well, a font size of 0 is nonsensical. Could also make it negative. Let's make it negative, -1. Colors, undefined colors. Yeah, I don't really have that. I have transparency, but I don't have an is defined or anything. Maybe I should make a color that is so nonsensical. Oh, that's easy, actually. So I make const expression color. Construct an undefined color. And the undefinedness sits it in the fact that I just give red a value that is larger than 1, which is nonsense. So 2, for example. And while I'm at it, give them all the value 2. Could of course just use one of them, but I don't know. Pool is defined const return. Yeah, I'm really just going to test one of them, I think. So alpha is unequal to 0.0. And this is a const expression, so I can add it here as a color. Const expression color undefined. And that's just the default constructor. Then we can set this color equal to the undefined color, which is the default constructor. So I didn't even have to make that const expression. Font family, well, that's an easy one, I think. Also default constructed. Offset. We need a magic number for this. So theoretically, it could be anything. I'm gonna call this the undefined offset magic. Undefined rotation magic. Yeah, okay. Double, let's make a static const expression double undefined offset magic, which is anything that's really big, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have a static const expression double undefined rotation magic. Well, anything that's like way larger than pi. Let's say minus 3 million. Poo-poo. Okay, now we have that. I can do here if delta dot position is defined, then we update result dot position to be the delta position. If delta dot font size is unequal minus 1.0, it's kind of a magic as well, but well. Result dot delta, sorry, result dot font size is the delta font size. If delta dot color dot is defined, result dot color is delta color. If font family delta dot font family empty, rather not empty, then result dot font family is, this is C++, totally C++. Font family is delta font family. If no, it's the next one. offset. Delta offset is unequal undefined offset magic. Then result dot offset is delta offset. If delta dot rotation is unequal undefined rotation magic, then result dot rotation is delta rotation. Pew, I think that works. Of course it doesn't work. Text position is not a struct or union. You've only declared. Yeah, the offset magic were declared inside the class, which is this class. I'm taking a shower. It's just, you can hardly hear it. The idea is that the sounds that I'm listening to, that you can hear it too, like rain and stuff like that. It's hard for me to test though. It's not there. I don't get it. Testing 1, 2. Now you can hear it, right? Tell me if this is too annoying. What was I doing? Enumeration value undefined, not handled. It is extremely annoying. Yeah. What the hell? Well, I would say the half point is there, but man, it's a mess. Plus, it looks like it's using the same point, or what? No, that's unbelievable. Text. Let's turn one off. And the other one I'm going to put at the endpoint. So I'm just do this. It should work. Hey. Abusing the centered above, if it even works. It's not centered above. So this is the point, of course, the tip of the arrow, and then relative to that this is below. Oh, D0. It's probably this one. No, this is P1, sorry. So this is centered above D0. Yeah. It's at the right spot. Unbelievable. Oh, D0 is at the bottom. So D0 should be centered below. That's the thing. This is D0. D0 is the lowest one. This one should be below. And now see if my default delta works. Yeah, sort of, except it's not centered. So this is the point, and then it puts it below it. So this point here, so rectangle with the text, that point has been put there. But this is clearly left off, right? Right off, I mean. It's below and right off. It's not centered. Is that possible? Why would that suddenly not work? It's acting like this one. Below right off. Isn't it weird? Let's subtract another 100. That definitely has influence. Subtracting goes up. Now it looks suddenly centered. What the hell? Now it's centered. It's hardly above or below, but it is centered. I know. No fucking clue. Text.h. Uh-oh. The YouTube committee is here. Am I using your hard disk space too much? What if I tell you that it is pointless, above or below, centered or not? I think it's contributing to the misery of humanity. Especially contributing terabytes of hard disk space. Waiting to be banned. Nothing happens. I think people just like working while with me on in the background. That's the main thing. I don't know. What exactly did you want to know? Because clearly I have no idea. I'm just wondering why this is not working. What the? Really? It's like it's completely reacting differently from a previous test. Now subtracting goes up. Oh, I'm never mind that. We should be centered below, right? So I was trying to do something here. This should go down. Minus minus is plus. Seems to go up a little bit down. It seems that my text is not working. I'm going to text offset. I thought I had that working. Very annoying. So let's edit one by one. What I do see working is a default. And default is, well, at least what I did set there was above, right off, above, left off. Can't even remember. Point level style. Centered left off. Really? It doesn't look centered. Oh, wait a minute. Left off centered means centered vertically. Also doesn't look like it at all. Yeah, it's not working whatsoever. It seems. Like this point here is clearly above this line here. So you have this is the point where I put the text, and it is above it, not vertically centered. This is centered. So here it still works for some reason. Why does it work here? These are centered below. This is centered left off. Or that point. So if I use centered left off, I expect it to be there, the P1. Just like this one. Relative to this point here. But it is too high. It's like all of them. They're just above left off. All of them are above left off. I don't have any clue what's going on. Why does it work here and not here? Huh? The F, man. Let's do this specifically for the position of the text. I'm having an origin here, 0, 0. Let's use that. So I'm going to add text. Test level. I'm going to add it at 0, 0. So just create a point here. 0, 0, 0, 0. On test level. Yeah, I'm going to do crazy things. Every time I get more desperate, I do more crazy things. Okay, so clearly the test label is not vertically centered. Yeah, this is above left off. How I meant it originally. Not centered left off. So now I'm going to try what happens if I use above left off. I mean, where the hell does it come then? Or is it going to be the same? It's just higher. It's, Okay, I think I get it. The problem is that I set an offset as well. Offset is 10. And this offset is not working. So as long as I keep the offset at 0, it's going to do more or less what I intended it to do. Hello, Manu. And as soon as I set an offset, it's just not working. I have to fix the offset. See, now it looks like I expected. So this corner of the text is at that point where I put it. And if you said, if you state that you wanted to use center left of, then it's going to be vertically centered left of that point. And then we have below left off. I want to see them all, but it's kind of pointless, I guess, because it just works. Now it's below that point. And then, well, you skip everything else. So I'm just going straight to the centered below. Yeah, the original thing that we wanted to work. Yeah, that works. Although this is a bit far away, I have to say. Like it already adds an offset now. Huh? Yeah, so we said that above is touching the point, and then below is like way below. Why? Nobody knows. I don't think I'll see anything in the code that points in that direction. So this is just a definition. And then we have a case here. And centered above and below is indeed different because I added a -10 here. That's why. Yeah, well, it was just too low. That was too low. It was correct. So I'll have to make it centered below then. Just set one again. That's better. So below is now touching the point, and above as well, centered horizontally, everything works. Now I have to fix the offset. So we set an offset. I wanted to move in the direction of the style. And currently it just always moves up. That's the problem, I think. So let's say we set offset back. I think the offset should just, a positive offset should push the text further in a certain direction, depending on the position. So if it's left of, it should push it to the left, it's right of, it should push it to the right, and so on. But what it does, it just always moves it up. It's kind of nonsense, and at the very least I would need a vector as an offset, not just a single value. So this is centered below and then 10 pixels up. That's why it ends up there. How do I fix that offset? Yeah, I'm just adding it or subtracting it from TY. If we do not that, do I fuck up my labels along the axis or not? Yes, I do. These are still correct, but the X is suddenly here and the Y is gone completely. That's weird, man. Or maybe the X is centered for the full window. I don't know. Thought it was. But maybe I add an offset to correct for that. I don't know. I don't remember anymore whether. But the Y is definitely gone. Yeah, the Y is still gone. Good. X is between a half and 1 here, and the Y is now. What the hell? I'm sure I saw a Y just shortly ago. Shocking. Does not seem to have influence on X, so no, probably also not on Y. I don't know why Y is gone, but yeah, during this stream, I looked at the Y. I'm sure, and then now it's gone. What did I change? Because this is what changed. Maybe the offset is this big now. That's why we don't see it anymore. Nope. Still no Y. That doesn't bring me back. Plot styles. can't have any influence. I'm going to have a look at my own video, this own stream, because I really think I saw a Y there. So it must be gone because of a recent change then. Left, right, off. So let's do X. Yeah, did I make mistakes? I don't think so. So I have to test 4 more. Left off, subtract from x, both right off, do one more then. Yeah, okay. Well, at least now it does what I asked. Although, could be improved with the vector, I think, an offset vector. Okay, so we have a small vector now. The difference between the two, that would be E. Let's draw that in as well. I'm still having... Oh, my Y is back. Fuck. Okay, can someone explain to me when that happened? Why is my Y here? Oh, and the X is a bit up now. X moved up, really. I guess I do have an offset then for the X, and it went the wrong way now. Was I think I gave an that yeah. This one is above, so it went in the right direction, and this one is below, so now it's inversed. The offset. How do we find the offset of this label? Where do I define that? That is the style used for the X label. So I'm having a plot somewhere, plot here, not passing any styles. Style is empty, so it's a default. Yeah, that was it. We have a default X label style. So the draw texts X label. So the X label has an offset, and I'm subtracting it because it's a good question to begin with. It's below and I want to push it down, so it should. Why am I subtracting it at all here? It should be automatically taken into account. This is the offset, but the offset is taken into account automatically if you use this default. Should not appear here at all. going to delete it, see what happens. So now I'm just positioning it at plot area geometry offset x plus a half times the plot area geometry width. That's literally like in the middle, yeah? And then the y coordinate is offset plus the height. That's the bottom. Yeah, I do want to move it down. Maybe I want to move it down, maybe to below the numbers that are there. And that might still be that value. So maybe I should not remove it. Although seems like nonsense as well. I think I subtracted somewhere else. I'm gonna delete it. And then I pass the X level style. X label style is just a text style with X label style defaults. And yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to make that negative. So I think this should be positive. And the other one should be positive as well. So this one. Make. Hello, tenor. Yeah, that definitely fucked up my these labels here. Why? No, it feels like the change that I made is only affecting this and not that. But I made two changes. Brilliant me. can't be this. This is really about the X and Y level. Let's move these, just see what it affects. The Y label's gone again. It was there a second ago. It's really random. But this seems, indeed seems to only change the X. So so something else changed. Guess that's the label style then. Doesn't even have an offset. How can that suddenly be changed? Offset is 0. Title style defaults. Oh, it's derived from the default text style defaults, which has an offset of 0. So that's also not it. Which style is being used by things, the numbers? Oh, they're literally being used again here. And I just inverted those values. Why are they literally being used? Because I have separate code, I guess. They're not being drawn. Yeah, they're not being drawn as text. They're being drawn right here. So that's a problem. Or that's the reason at least. So offset, oops. Just good for offset. So the X levels are now moved down and the Y levels are moved to the left. That's what you want. That should be fixed again. Yep, these levels look good again. And then I guess because of that shift, I thought, well, let's move the X then as well. That same amount, so that the X is by default on the same height. So if I reduce if I set the style offset to 0, then the X should be at the height of those numbers. What is my offset? Having 0 here. No way. X level style default. So if I set that to 0. That move these things up as well. Why is this X so much lower? Oh, because it is below. But why would it be below this line? Why not below that line? That makes more sense. Oh. It's still tight below this. So it doesn't move along with that, but sits directly below it. This is what I wanted, except that not expected at that point. Try 10 more, just to make sure. Yep. Okay, so then we have, this was 10. And that has an influence on the X level because of the style. Send it below. Yep. Yep, I think I made a mistake then. I have to change that back, so that one or that one. This one. The only question is if the sign is still correct. Yep. So that looks better. Now the X is at the right height again. And the Y is still gone. Why is the Y still gone? I think the Y is gone because it is drawn outside its clip or rectangle. Saw that before. So it's either visible at the right spot or it's just gone because it was shifted a little bit and then you don't see it anymore. So also that was wrong, is wrong. And yeah, I have no clue whatsoever, of course, as usual. But let's try negating this sign as well, because you never know. Maybe it will be back. It's sort of back, but not quite. Yep, okay, so maybe it should remove that one then. I mean, I'm just trying here. Either that or the clip area is at the wrong place, of course. This can't be right, you would say, but on the other hand, yeah, it might be right. I don't know. They're definitely, X and Y are definitely a little bit different, so. Yep, it's back. It's back, but it's indeed, I think, a bit close to these values. And in other words, we don't have a Y offset. So I think now I should give Y a positive offset of 10. And that should shift both the clip rectangle as well as the position. It seems now it seems to be on top of this line here. So the style used for the Y label, I'm pressing Ctrl C. Yep, or not. I don't know what I did. Pretty sure this is not correct then. So that it was half correct. To remove that. Then we have a Y label style here that currently probably has no offset or the wrong offset. It's still weird though. So it uses the X style default offset, which is already 10. So maybe it is correct to do the shift down here as well, but I just have, because I don't think it's at the right place at the moment. And this is confusing. Why would the clip rectangle be away from the actual label? Let me try if we can offset it with this. Nope, Y is gone again. Well, that's very weird. Let's move it a little bit. What? No, why? I moved it 2 pixels. What is going on here? No, it's still gone. But don't get this at all. Was it a negative sign then? Now it's back in full, shifted the wrong way. And not clipped. But I don't think it has anything to do anymore with the X level. See, it's centered above, and a negative value then draws it back in. Yeah. So the position looks okay. I just don't get that if I move it, it gets clipped. So I think that correct would be a plus sign, but then we don't see it anymore. So why not? What do we add now to? Seems still unclipped. It's a bit hard to see with the 0 there. Yep. Just clipping is definitely here. Being done here. That is so weird. Why is the Y again completely gone? Oh. Because of this probably. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. That's a Y level. That is a Y level, man. Now the clip rectangle is exactly correct, but the position is not right. Now you would think, as looks like kind of below, maybe centered below. Not sure. Plot. Y level should be centered above. But what the hell is it centered above then? There's a +2 here, too much. What the fuck? How can it completely disappear whenever I only change the +2? This doesn't make any sense. Nope. I didn't change anything. Why can and now suddenly it's gone again. Yeah, it's random. Damn it. Really. It doesn't make it easier, does it? So I just have to run multiple times now in order to be sure that it's really gone. There it is again. It's not a clipping rectangle. That clipping rectangle is still exactly right. Oh shit. Slowly increasing it until I see which direction it goes. Alt, Control top on it. Yay. I think it's going upwards. Yeah, it's going upwards. That is the correct direction. Let's add another 10. I think the whole clipping thing might not be a problem. I'm gonna try 10. And then I thought that it was gone, but it is still there. And now it is correct. Unbelievable. So lost a lot of time because it's sometimes not there, and I was thinking all that time that the reason was that I moved it outside of the clipping rectangle, which is not the case. So actually this should be plus, and now it is acting as if it is 0, which is probably because I should not have removed that offset from the other position, aka here. Might as well add that immediately again. To here, I should do minus that. I think at least. Get diff plot.h. And then we see that we did change it a lot. Okay, this changed from minus to plus. And this changed from minus to plus and from y to x. And I have a +5 here. Oh, why is the +5 still there? Oh, yeah, okay, I get that one. Let's remove the +5 and let's use y. And y is actually minus x, or is it both positive, yeah? So I can just use minus y then, I think. Yeah. +5 as a test, and we want to use y here, and the y style defaults use the same value as the x one, so there's no sign change anymore. And then I have to run it until we see it. Stubbornly keep running it. Do not believe that it is not there. It is there. You think the spoon is not there, but it is. Just have to run it a lot of times. Dude, show up. And then you start doubting. Doubt in your mind. It's not there. Nope, it's gone. There it is. Took forever, but... And I feel that this is the position where I want it. So the space between the bottom of this and the top of that is like 10 pixels, and that's the same here. Distance between that and that. And the only real problem is that it is often just not shown. For nobody knows what the reason. It's not redrawing it, of course. It just works. Yeah, I don't know. What could be the reason of this? Let's add a few fix me's, or remove a few fix me's. That's only two. That up. And don't need to make it pink anymore. Yeah. No. First hit. Okay, I'm gonna stop for now because it's 9 p.m. and I have to make dinner. Seems like a good time. So I love you all. I'll give everyone a heart. And I'll probably be back later, after eating and maybe a movie or something. Yeah. Would be nice if I had any clue why my label is disappearing, though. Sometimes, often. 99% of the case. Except this last time. Now it's gone again. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Hey Snow, how is life? Have you been working while I'm streaming? On the side. And if so, what did you work on? What are you coding? Well, not so sure about that. Remote browser isolation. You work for the NSA. HTML VNC client type projects. Trying to understand what that means, but what does VNC mean here? Virtual? No, I don't see it. VNC. I think that's where I'm losing you. Sounds like man, my memory. Why can't I find words? Sure, there's a word for it. So what I want to say is that the whole dot of a browser, the reason for existence, or whatever the right word is to move. No, my mind is just empty. So I know what I mean, but I can't. The word doesn't pop up. Neither in Dutch nor in English, I think. Nou, als ik nou naar Nederlands schakel, of kijk, dan moet ik even Nederlands praten. En dan zou ik het willen zeggen als volgt. Yeah, still nothing. No, it doesn't work. No, the purpose, maybe. The purpose of a browser is to move the user interface machinery code to the local computer of the user. So you have fast feedback, instant feedback, preferably. Now it's a long description, but that's because I can't find a word. So what you say sounds like you are defeating the purpose of the whole idea behind the browser. Because if now you run the browser, so the part that is supposed to be run local, to have a fast response time, you're running that remotely and then maybe send videos or something like that. I mean, why even have a browser at all then? It's like there's no browser left after that. It just defeats the purpose of a browser. That's not a purpose. It's more like what gives it life, what gives it meaning. It's just browser means running locally. So yeah, I'm amazed. I mean, I've been in Second Life for a while, and they're working on the viewers also. So coding, but there, of course, also have a server and a client. And the reason that the client is running locally is because you want certain things to be instant. Like if you move the mouse, you want to instantly have the avatar rotate. Yeah, or you press a key and you want to instantly, and the whole, it's a 3D bloody world. So they send the 3D information to the client, which then uses its local GPU to let you look around in the 3D world. So if I move my mouse or rotate, not just my avatar rotates, my camera rotates. Yes, so that has to be local. But the problem with that was that they had to send all the information to the client in order for it to draw the 3D world. And that was a lot of information. As in, on the other hand, they tried to make an economy. So you could make stuff as, what's the word, creators, and then you can buy that, pay with real money. And what hackers did was they said, yeah, but we already know what it is. You send it to us so our viewer can draw it. It's just a virtual chair or a virtual table. There's no need to pay for that. I just steal it from the GPU, or even the data that was sent from the server. And then, of course, they said, "Oh my God, oh my God!" They had this problem that commercially it was very important for them that people could create things and then sell it. So certain people were making their life's income from Second Life. So maybe in poorer countries than my country, but they definitely did that. They were just full-time working and selling stuff in Second Life, and that was their income. And so Linden Lab, when they were still the owner of Second Life, they wanted to address that pure out commercial interest. So they came up with the idea to move everything of the client to the server and then only send video. Can you imagine that? So I don't think it never happened because it's just some lunatic manager idea. But yeah, that's what I have to think about here with your local browser story as well. So I wonder what the motive is that you're doing this. But yeah, if they had done that, and I move my mouse and it takes 300 milliseconds before the world starts rotating, everyone would run screaming away from Second Life. So in the end, it didn't come from the ground, that idea. It would never have worked. Yeah, stealing. I think people should be less commercial. Okay, maybe easy for me to say because, like I said, I don't have the work. But we're talking about companies here. Companies are rich. They don't need to make money. It just exists of greedy people that want to make as much money as possible. I think this whole digital copyright stuff is bullshit. Copying, yeah, it is illegal. You have this copyright thing, which stems from hundreds of years ago. And then the internet came around and digital stuff came around, and they just try to keep it up, and they try to keep it up, and they try to... While it doesn't make any bloody sense whatsoever. If you make anything digital and set it on the internet, you lost it. Clear. Everyone is copying it, of course. It's cheap. It doesn't cost you anything if I make a copy. And then if you work very hard on something and you digitize it and you put it on the internet, and then you want to make money by selling it, that also doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you sell it once, okay. If you sell it 10 times, no problem. But then it goes viral and you sell it 10 million times. Well, you could have made your money that was worth the work that you put into it by selling it 10 times or 100 times. If you sell the same thing 10 million times, then suddenly you're a billionaire or a millionaire without having done anything. Just, I don't know, a few weeks of hard work. That's not reasonable. It doesn't make any sense. So the same thing with say movies, right? They make a movies that cost hundreds of millions, literally, that to make them, okay, they need to be sold worldwide in order to get the money out of it again. But you also have cheap movies, and then, okay, well, I mean, yeah, nah. In the case of movies, I kind of understand it, you know, it just, the movies that people can only watch so many movies, so you have to be in the very top of excellence, or how good a movie is, in order to get a lot of people to watch your movie. So, and eventually, say only movies made by Hollywood, which was centralized in order to make it cheaper, they were able to produce the best movies, and that's That's what then millions and millions of people watched. So they had, in advance, they could say, well, that's worth the risk to put 10 million into this and then try to sell it. But yeah, this is kind of a balance, I think, here between, you know, how expensive it is and then if you can make money about it. But it's kind of artificial as well. I don't know. But let's say music. For day and age, I don't understand why that suddenly has to be at the same rate when you can sell it over the internet to millions of people. I mean, okay, you also here maybe the market could get saturated, so you also have to be the best of the best. But does that really cost that much money? I would say sell them for $1. If I could go to a shop, I mean, I'm just making a digital copy here. No? I'm not even buying the thing yet anymore. Just a digital copy. Don't ask me 40 euros. Ask me €1 for an hour of music. Anyway, I'm renting, and I don't even have that much understanding of economics in this point. But bottom line is, I'm an anarchist, and I think that people you should be allowed to do whatever you can do as long as you don't hurt other people. And I feel that making a digital copy is not hurting anyone. And they claim they're being hurt because they say if he did not pirate a copy, he would have paid for it. But that's not true. I wouldn't give a dime for most of the movies that I watch. The very best movie, I would be willing to pay €1. Most of the movies I watch, I would pay 10 cents at most, you know, or just say, well, whatever, keep it. So instead I pay 0. Well, that's not much of a difference. And if they want me to not do that, then they should make the movies cheaper. Lots cheaper than they are at the moment. I'm going to stop the stream. I'll be